Well, hey Dayton and hey Crossroads. Hey, my name is Andy Ryder. I am the community pastor for Crossroads Dayton, and just want to take a few minutes this morning to just respond to something that has impacted a lot of folks in our city and in our community. And if it hasn't affected you, odds are it has affected someone that you know. Last night we had some pretty significant storms and a tornado that came through and affected lots of areas. And there were folks without power. There were folks that can't get to where they need to go to, folks whose cars, homes, electricity has all been impacted. And just want to take a minute to respond on behalf of Crossroads, just to acknowledge that there's a lot of very real difficulties that this has brought up. And just to say that we're with you. As a church, we're going to figure out what it looks like for us to get on the ground, boots on the ground, and get in the fight to see that folks get what they need, because we believe that God isn't just about meeting people's spiritual needs. He's also about meeting our practical needs, and that God's love is tangible and action-oriented and practical, and we're just going to follow his example in that as a community. So if you or someone you know has been impacted, first of all, know that we are with you, that we are praying for you, and that we as a church and as a community are looking for how we can be leveraged in the fight to make sure you guys get what you need and are taken care of. And there's a couple things that just come to mind as we're sort of faced with this as a community. And the first is that I'm just reminded God is always in the business of making broken things whole and old things new. And this is not the everything's going to turn out A-OK, sunshine and puppy dogs thing. I believe this isn't just a thing that you say. This is a truth and a spiritual reality that God is always able to make good out of a bad situation, that he is in the business of taking really, really challenging stuff and is able to somehow work that out for our good. And I believe that he's going to do that even with something like this storm. And so, the second thing is I just believe that we were made for a time as this. I think this is the time where people who follow Jesus should be out and about and looking for how we can serve our neighbors. How Dayton has a long history of when tragedy strikes, that we rally around and support our neighbors and work for the good of our community. And I want to see that happen. I want to see that happen today and in the weeks that follow. And I want to especially see that for my church and for churches around the area, that we would rally around the things that God's put in front of us. Because I really believe if Jesus were here living in Dayton today, that he would be jumping into this effort and working to make sure that you and the people that you know and my friends, my neighbors, the folks in my community, that they have what they need. And so Crossroads has a bit of history in the disaster response arena. We've got a group called Masters of Disaster that have about 300 folks who are trained and equipped and ready to be sent out to address disasters as they come. And they've done stuff from Florida to North Carolina, all the way out to Houston, Hurricane Harvey, as well as a number of others. And we're looking for how best to get them engaged and get us as a community engaged. And so what we know right now is that two things. One, we are in information gathering mode right now. We need to figure out what's going on so that we know how we can best serve. And we are actively involved in that and looking for that. And then secondly, this is going to be a marathon and not a sprint. We are aware there are folks who need help right now, and we're looking at how to meet immediate needs as well as how to serve and help our neighbors and communities rebuild for the long haul. So if you have a tangible, urgent need right now, or a friend or a neighbor or someone in your community, we want to hear from you. If you would shoot us an email at dayton@crossroads.net, that would help us just know what you need so that we can begin trying to figure out where the overlap is and how we can best serve you. So email dayton@crossroads.net. So just to close, I just want to say a quick word of prayer for you, if you've been affected by this, as well as for our community and our city. God, I pray that this would be a time when you show up, even in the midst of a really, really difficult situation. And that doesn't minimize the challenges that people are facing. And God, I just want to see you show up. I really do. It's not just a saying. I really do believe you're in the business of making broken things whole, old things new, and that you can bring hope and fresh life and fresh energy into any situation and to any of us. And God, we ask that you would do that. And I ask that you would do that through people getting engaged, through people pouring out their energies and their efforts and their time and their resources to make sure people's needs are met, spiritual and practical. God, you're good, and I believe that you love to include us in the important and urgent work that you're doing, and you love to invite us to be a part of extending to others the same hope that you offer us. And God, I ask that you would do that. You would do that over the coming days and weeks, right here in Dayton. Pray this in your name. Amen. Guys, have a great week. If you need something, please shoot that email to Dayton@crossroads.net. We are on the lookout for how we can serve. And just our prayer is just constantly, God, where can we do the most good? Thanks, guys.